Nerfs. Let me give you guys a history lesson. The term Nerf originates from the Nerf brand with their lines of primarily toy guns. But when the term started being associated with video games was around 1997 with the game Ultima Online, a MMORPG. That was pretty big at the time, reaching 100,000 players within its first 6 months. But when the game originally came out, it was broken and unbalanced, and overall, a messy launch. The one weapon that was the most unbalanced were the swords in PvP combat, doing an insane amount of damage. So they reduced the damage on the swords with a patch to such an extreme amount that players started comparing the swords to Nerf's line of toy swords.
Nerf! You know the power of Nerf blasters. Now you can grasp the fury of Nerf's new N4 swords. It's Nerf or nothing.
It's Nerf or nothing!
This is how the word Nerf became associated with games that would either lessen the damage of weapons or characters in a game. Now, you have experienced Nerfs before, either a weapon in a game, or what I feel is the most common is fighters in fighting games. Fighting games have reworks and nerfs and buffs all the time in order to get the characters well balanced and working properly. Which, if you play fighting games, you know that there's never really a balance and characters pretty much get ruined by one nerf. One character I can think of on the top of my head that was nerfed is Mortal Kombat 1 Sub-Zero in early access. He was nasty at launch, pulling off nice combos and doing some heavy damage as well. Then the game fully released, and well, his damage was nerfed so hard that he is considered a D tier character. Along with Scorpion, how are you gonna make your two most iconic characters in your game the worst? But I main Raiden, so not that big of a deal for me.
The fate of billions will depend upon you. Sorry.
Anyway, for the people in the FPS scene, you have seen your favorite weapons get nerfed all the time. Guns are the victim of nerfs and reworks constantly. I can't think of any at the top of my head, but you can probably think of one that ruined your day. So, now, there's one thing I think we have all seen, and it's people complaining online about nerfing something in a game, and have the comments say, just get good, in response. And sometimes if people say something, then something will be nerfed in a game. I think there is one character in a game that was a victim of this. One that had a nerf so bad that ruined the character for years, and it still has been kept in the game to this day. Let me take you back in time.
You know, the world could always use more heroes.
Yeah! That was awesome!
Hey, it's your boy.
What's up, bro nation? It's your boy PewDiePie. Today I thought I was gonna try something different. It's another Overwatch video.
Overwatch released in 2016. It was a highly anticipated game by many, being a hero shooter, giving characters different abilities that would spice up the FPS genre. Its style, its characters, weapons, and gameplay style was something fresh, and I was excited to play. I remember buying the game on release date for the Xbox One. I opened the game giving me so many characters to pick from and test out, but one stuck out to me, Roadhog. Roadhog has been in the game since release. This silly Australian fellow who might or might not be clinically insane. The reason he stuck out to me was because 1, he was a tank. I love tanks. Heck yeah. 2, he has a shotgun that shoots close range with a scrap gun using his left click. Then, there's the alternate shooting with his right click, which sends long distance shots. Then, take a breather, which healed him by 300. Finally, the piece de resistance, the peak of his design, the hook. You throw this thing out, it grabs an enemy, and drags them right in front of you for you to shoot their face off. And you can also do a combo in which you melee, then shoot, or vice versa for extra damage. Everything about him, I loved. I have 50 hours on him and probably more on my other account. He is my most played character by a long shot. Not saying I don't dabble in other characters, but he has always been my favorite. His skins are great as well with some amazing designs. Don't have all of them because, well, I'm broke. Roadhog had so much going for him, but looming in the shadows were voices echoing something. It could be heard from all corners of the internet. Nerf Roadhog. And then it happened. 8 months after the release of Overwatch came Doomsday. A nerf to Roadhog arrived. Quote, hook targets are now released if they leave Roadhog's line of sight before being pulled. I think this single nerf killed Roadhog. This, above all the rest, ruined him. His character has remained in the bottom of almost every tier list for years. This nerf is way worse than any other that has been given to him. It's above the damage nerfs, the healing nerfs, and even the nerf to his ult. Those I am fine with alone, but stacked on top of this makes him so much worse. This one sticks out not only because it hurts this character, but on top of that, the logic behind this nerf does not make any sense whatsoever. Let me explain. Wait, what? What was that? What's my rank? No, I can't tell you that. Please, no. My whole argument will be thrown out the window. Please. Okay. Anyway, let's say I hook you, right? You walk around the corner, and then the line of sight is broken, and the hook lets go, and now you're free from the hook, and it takes about 5 damage from impact. Why in the world would a hook that I have wrapped around your torso, that I'm yanking at full strength, all of a sudden detach from you? In the 0.2 seconds you walked around the corner, did you have time to take off the hook? There's no reason why when I hook you, you should not be able to slide across the wall and drag all the way to me. I can understand for instances when I'm dragging the hook and I get behind the payload and the hook comes off from maybe impact, but other than that, if I had a hold of you, I should be able to keep that hold. But why is this nerf so bad? Well, in every meta, and even more nowadays, there are characters with shields, and with that, they deflect Roadhog's hook, as well as Orissa's hardening ability. But when every single character has a little shield of their own, known as the corner, they walk behind, after getting hooked, it can make getting hooks on a player a rare instances in some matches. Now, I'm not saying that playing Roadhog is impossible. His damage, health, and healing ability are great, but with so many counters to his arsenal, it makes him well weaker than the rest. I know using logic for a game like this is not the best thing I can do. I mean, you have Diva's mech that when you get behind a pillar does no damage to you whatsoever, as if a literal nuke didn't just go off. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm begging, Blizzard, please. You have taken everything away from him. You tried to do a rework and gave him a new ability, and honestly, it doesn't feel like he's improved that much. Pigpen, first off, is just a worse version of Junkrat's Bear Trap. It's only useful against tanks, and that's about it, and for about half a second, you have them caught. You made the healing a right-click and remove the secondary fire and combine them, I guess. The healing does refresh every 2 ticks, but now you have to hold healing instead of just a single button press. It's all nothing for this character. He still remains as the worst tank in the game to pick to this day, by a long shot. In a meta where half the tanks have a shield or armor that deflects the hook, you still won't let me drag them even half a centimeter around the corner they walked behind after I already hooked them? I just want my Roadhog back. Give them something. At least if I hook them and they walk around the corner, at least let me do more damage with the hook, or if they got caught on something like the payload while I'm dragging them, at least let them take impact damage. Half the time, I will play against Sigma or Magua, and oh look, we're winning. And they couldn't take it anymore, so they went meta and switched to Orisa. Awesome. Roadhog is such a fun character to play. I have always enjoyed him, but every time I get on this game, it feels like I'm playing with a character that just never gets any love. Hashtag, hook me daddy. Bring back Roadhog from the grave, please. Or I'll just play Marvel Rivals, I don't know.